It's just work. We're trying not to take it too seriously.
But really, it is your career and you need to take ownership of it.
Hey guys. Hi everybody. Welcome back again to Career Diaries 4-6. Again, we're very excited to be trying things, to be trying out new things. And we do have, drum roll, we have a guest speaker in the house. Nicola and I are thrilled. I'll take that back. We have a special guest speaker in the house.
Yes.
I apologize.
Yes.
And Bukola and I are so thrilled. We couldn't think of a better person to address the topic that we have today. And our topic is from arrival to ascent. Again, I think we've said this on the podcast, immigration is as old as time. People are moving about all the time, relocating, being expatriates, all of this stuff. And we have someone who has walked the path. She's walked the path. She's had her ups and downs, and we're thrilled today that she's thriving in her field. And she's going to talk to us about her story. Of course, we'll ask questions from time to time, but she's going to talk to us about her story from arrival to all the roadblocks, all the, basketballs, and then to ascending, right? Ascending. So I'll hand over to Bukola to introduce our special guest speaker.
Thank you, Dickens. I'm really excited. Our guest speaker today is someone very dear to my heart. She's my Ebo. I call her my Ebo, and we go like way back. I'm just really excited that she's here today, and I know firsthand the story. I would say I'm privileged to know firsthand the story, and truly, like Dickens said, from arrival to ascending, because she's still ascending, and it's just gotten better since arrival. That's the honest truth.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited to have Bunmi on the podcast today, and let me not go too much. Like I just start talking. But she's, like I said, she's not very dear to my heart. She's a seasoned. This one, the Maggie, the time, everything, marinated very well. Seasoned HR professional with over 22, even about 25 years experience even now. I can't remember now, but she'll clarify that. But she has a lot of years of experience in HR. Led several HR teams up until when she relocated to Canada. But let me not go too far. Let me not talk too much. I'm going to hand over to Marina to just introduce herself, share with us briefly her career journey up until now, and then we'll just dive into the questions right after. Over to you, Bunmi.
Thank you so much, Bukola and Dickems. Thank you for having me here on Career Diaries 4-6. I am big fans from the first episode up till, I listen, I tune in. I just love everything that you do. So my name is Bunmi Akano. I am a human resources professional with about 20 years general work experience, because I did graduate from University of Ibadan in 2002. So that's a little over 20 years. Yay! That's about 20 plus years. So I have a background in the sciences. I studied microbiology. I worked briefly in a fertility clinic as an embryologist, but I found it so boring. I ran away in 1 year, and then I worked as a customer service professional at Virgin Nigeria. So basically, when you're traveling, I was that girl that would check you in. I remember when I told my mom that was the job I was doing. She was like, "That's not a job. You didn't go to school to do that job." My mom,
Nigerian mom.
Yes, Nigerian mom.
She was like, "What? You mean that?" So, but I did that for 4 years, and then I transitioned into HR, and I worked with Epis. I was a startup HR lead at Epis Limited, which is Nigeria's biggest carrier right now, or West Africa's biggest carrier, in fact. So I was at Epis for 6.5 years there. I built foundation. I was the one that built the structure, built the team. I was the 13th employee when I was employed in Epis.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, I was the 13th. I saw my ID card recently when I was applying to IRS for my so I was like, 13.
Wow.
When I was leaving, we were about 3,000 strong. We had started flying. Airpiece at the time, I'd already started flying to about 30 destinations. I'd gone from 2 aircrafts when I joined to 22. So I did that for 6.5 years. Then that job took a lot from me. It was a lot, as you can imagine. So
Yeah.
I took a career break, possibly around this time that I met Bukola. As in Nigeria, for whatever reasons, we don't slow down enough to process things. We've just been built to keep going. I just think there was something off, so I just resigned. And then I moved to Flour. In Flour Mills, I worked in talent services, which is HR operations, and I managed the union there. And that was a very wonderful job. I loved that job so much. I loved the job at Epis, but Flour Mills had a bit more structure that I really liked. And I really loved working for my boss, Wale Adediran, who was someone that I learned so much from. And I just 1 year there, and then Canada called. The Canadian story is very fun because Bukola is a very big part of this story. I recall that this was, I'd gotten my dream job at Flour Mills and I was celebrating. I did my 40th. There was this big whole splash. And one day I was going to work in Apapa and I suddenly got sandwiched in the middle of 2 trainers.
Wow.
So because Apapa is filled with trailers and traffic.
Yeah.
That was when I called Bukola. I was like, no, Buki, this can't be the story of my life. Please, what is that? How did you get that PR again? I loved my job. I didn't like the way to get.
Yeah.
I was struggling with the driver. Go here. Like, madam, there's nowhere to go. Bukola. And so I moved to Canada for my master's. At that point, I'd always wanted to do my master's abroad, but I never could afford it. I tried the UK a very different times, but when they sent the bill, I would just run away. But I think things just worked out. At that particular time, it now became something that we could afford as a family. And that's when I moved to Canada. I did my MBA at the University Canada West in Vancouver, UBC. I graduated December 2023, and then I got my first job as a HR data analyst in April 2024. I did that job for about 3 months, and then I now moved to Port Alberni, which is a beautiful island, which is a beautiful town in Vancouver Island on the west coast of BC. It's stunning here. I work as I work as the HR generalist with one of the First Nations here, and I absolutely love my job. So yes, that is me in a nutshell.
A quick question. So how long have you been on this job?
On this particular job, 1 year now. I started July 15th, 2024. So yes, 1 year.
Huge congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow, amazing. Your story is not unfamiliar, that Apapa part. I feel like it's either you've written about it and I read it. Because I feel like I've heard this somewhere, or maybe Bukola told me, but I know I've heard it. I'm just not sure where from. Bunmi, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Congratulations on, coming to Canada, going through school. To be honest, again, you being here really makes sense because I think for most people who come in through PR, not that it's a walk in the park, but it's a lot easier. Like you're already coming in as a permanent resident, but coming in through school as a student and then trying to find your path is a lot longer, is a lot more tedious, is a lot more battering. So it makes complete sense that you are our special guest speaker today. So I guess segueing into the question section is, what does that mean for you? Or if you take us through your story, arriving in a new country, as a student, what are some of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Hardships, if you like, that you faced just in that arrival period?
I would say that there was that the arrival period was very because I came like a month before school actually started. So we sort of had some time to settle down. So it was, I call it like the honeymoon phase. And my honeymoon phase went on for like 1 month because it was just exactly
Okay.
1 month after I arrived that I started school. So I really just focused on settling my girls. I have 3 girls, 18, 16, and 9. So I really just focused on settling.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
You have teenage girls.
Yes. One is on the
We're praying for you.
The 18-year-old is off to uni in in a few weeks. Yes, so
Congrats.
thank you so much. So it was really good. And it wasn't the cold had not started. You know, I came in spring, I came in fall, just before fall. So
Okay.
yeah, it was nice at the beginning, right? Getting used to the new weather, the new location, the sights, you know, just the beauty of British Columbia. British Columbia is something. Like if you want to really appreciate God and God and His
It is. I can say so now.
You know, at first I was wondering that why are they calling this place beautiful British Columbia? Well, because that's what the license plate.
Okay.
But then it now dawned on me that it's actually the natural beauty, you know, the mountains, the lakes, the water. So I sort of soaked that in, and then school started. I think that school started. Well, for us, so when I moved, we're not necessarily young, right? So this was like 20 years after I graduated from school. So we sort of had like maybe like a savings or something. My husband was working back home in Nigeria. So in terms of financial pressure, it was not so much. So I could actually take a pause. The real life situation for a lot of students is that they're actually and working at the same time. That was not my reality. So I had, because my husband was there working, I could take a pause, and I also had savings, right, over the years that I could even augment what my husband was bringing. But nonetheless, it still was difficult. For example, Daycare, maybe Bukola knows this. It took me 3 years to start driving. No, 2 years to start driving in Canada because I found the roads to be so wide. I found the signs to be so confusing. And because I was in school, I couldn't, I don't know what happened to me when I moved to Canada. I became unsmart somehow. I don't know what happened to me. I just juggle everything together. Like, so, you know, I said, I will do this thing when I graduate. It was driving. In Nigeria. My husband went through various emotions from anger to empathy to pity to support. You know, so juggling my school schedule with the children's schedule and also, you know, mom and all of that, I think was really the tough part for me. And the fact that my husband was not around a lot, because still, even till now, still continues to work in Canada, in Nigeria. So he comes in like half a year. He does like 3 months in, 3 months out and all of that. So I have never had to leave outside of him. Like I've known him since I was 20, this 20 something years of so it was really difficult being there alone with the girls, having to study, you know, having all these assignments that were layered back to back with so many deadlines. And honestly, I hadn't really been to school in 20 years, although I have different certifications. But actually going to class on a schedule and all that was a new thing for me, navigating all that. Everybody there is younger than you are, or most of them are younger than you are. So that was what it was for me in terms of settling in. There was the initial excitement, and then reality dawned in that, Bunmi, you are here alone with the girls most of the time. You need to read, you need to submit your assignments, you need to do group work. Same thing in school. So the ones that will fuck around. Meanwhile, you are trying to make things happen. People are like, I beg, I'm just here for this PR, man. Don't tell me to submit a 90% quality assignment. You go. Yeah. So that's what it was. I hope I answered that question properly.
You did beautifully well. And thanks for sharing your story. Okay, I'll hand over to Bukola now.
No, thank you so much, BA, for sharing that. I think you already answered the second question.
Yeah.
In answering this, how the first question they can answer. So I'll just move over to the next, phase around how you just found your footing. So, at what point do you feel like things began to shift for you? Like when you felt like, okay, like for example, you had shared, like how, you moved from the honeymoon phase and then now realize that, okay, babe, talk to yourself. It's only you here with three girls. No, your husband is hardly around. How are we going somewhere and everything? So, at what point did it now look like it was balancing? That okay, I'm getting myself back. And what was that phase like? What was it like? How did you know? What was that phase
Yes,
like?
I think I had to. I think what it was first was I had to first of all just accept it. Everywhere quiet. I lived in a quiet estate in Nigeria, but you will hear people talking. My nanny will be shouting on the driver, or the man. There's some noise. There's some sound. You don't go here, you hear anybody's voice. So the closest I will hear is my Chinese neighbor. The houses here are made of wood. So if you live in a townhome like we've always stayed, you will still be hearing. You may hear people talk. So you hear them talking in like an unfamiliar. Everything was unfamiliar. So even though I was here with my kids and my husband half the time, I kept looking back on that. Oh, my career that I left. Oh, the job that I left. Oh, my support system. And I think it's normal. Like you did want to move, fine, miss it, but don't stay there for so long. So it made the painful part of my journey a bit worse because apart from going to school and everything, I wasn't really looking forward. I kept looking, I kept wondering if I was going to find my footing. I kept, because at some point, like I think 9 months, I studied for 15 months. So by my 9th month, that's 6 months before I graduated, I started looking for jobs, right? And it was not a very pleasant experience. So with the fact that I've never experienced this back at home and all of that, it really made me an emotional wreck, sort of, for that time period. But to answer that question, when did I start feeling like I have found my footing? There's something about having a job. And even though I counsel people, to find peace outside their workspaces, right? That's most of the work that I do now. That's really what it is. But I think there's just something about having your own job, apart from the earnings that it gives you, the fact that you're contributing to what you're doing. I really think that as I got closer to around the time that I graduated, that was one big milestone that, okay, I can see what I came here to do. Like, this is the final report of what I came here to do. And then when I got my first job, I think I started sort of settling down. I started with more solid footing on for the 6 months, for the 9 months, because it's like a total of 9 months that I really that I really searched for jobs, and the disappointing journey that it was really, really tough on me. But I think after a while, I just embraced it that, Bunmi, this is your journey. Like, stop crying, stop whimpering, right? So I kept going back to the table. I kept re-strategizing. I had mentors, I had coaches, I had people like that, support systems. Some people were just friends that would just say a nice word, and those things sort of helped me to get. And people kept saying one thing: it does get better. True. I didn't get it when they were saying it then, but it is true. It actually does get better. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bunmi.
Yeah.
You touched on some very solid points, but the one that I'm going to highlight is what you said about you kept looking back. And it really just reminded me of Lot's wife. And just like generally how a lot of times we say we want something, but somehow we're tied to our past. We're tied to what we've termed the good old days. And we just keep looking back. And when you keep looking back, you're not able to move forward, at least not as quickly. And like you correctly said, it just extends the pain.
Yes.
Right? You also touched on our next question, which is what made it better around, in terms of community, the support system, a job, mentors. I was listening to Pastor Iron earlier today, and actually the the sermon was termed community. And he was basically talking about how, when the Bible said man should not be alone, a lot of times we say it in the context of marriage and blah, blah, blah. But the wider context to that is also the fact that we have to be in community. We have to have a support system. We have to have friends that have our back. The way, there's a brother that sticks closer. Sorry, there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. So that leads me to my next question, which, like I said, you've touched on. But for the benefit of our listeners, what did community look like for you? Was it church? Was it online groups? Was it HR communities? Like, what did that look like for you?
Thank you so much. Apart from the internal support that I got from my immediate family, which I want to much more, almost everyone would have that as a default, depending on. So I won't touch so much on that. For community, I would say it was. So I joined a particular group called Dress for Success. So Dress for Success is a yes,
I've heard of them. Okay.
Yes. So they're a group of professional women. So it really just provides support to professional women, right, that are transitioning, and it's very very interesting. I'll refer back to this in another in later on. So what Dress for Success did. So first of all, as I was moving to Canada, a few people that were already here, people like Kamal and some other people that were already here, introduced me to a few people, that were in Canada already, or specifically in BC. I mean, I don't just go into groups and start to immediately. I don't even do very well in groups anymore now. Like, there's just so much. What I do is that I take my time, just to answer that your question, to then isolate, to sort of isolate people that I think I can work with, and I build my relationship with them, and then I contribute on the groups minimally. So I joined Dress for Success, and it was a 1 year. It was Kamal that introduced me to a lady called Bunmi Akano. Bunmi Akano is a vice president of one of the banks here in Vancouver. So she introduced me to Dress for Success because she's a mentor there. So what Dress for Success does is it mentors and it helps new immigrants, women, in various spheres. And so we used to have sessions one Saturday a month or 2 Saturdays a month. Then outside of those sessions, and those sessions could be anything, could be from your finances to your mental health to dressing to mentorship to schooling. It could just touch on anything. And it also provided access to a coach. So one of the senior coaches, one of the senior ladies or mentors on the group would mentor you for that 1 year period, right? And so I was linked to someone called Stephanie, and even though it wasn't like she provided any links for my job, but what she did in our session was you literally uprooted yourself from all you've known for 40 plus years, and you came to a brand new country. I can't do it. So you need to be kind to yourself, with yourself, and she said all of those things. Then I joined a HR group. They call it HR Leaders in Nigeria. Imole Ashogbon is the convener of that group. You probably have seen him on LinkedIn. And so I started to I joined the group, but again, I couldn't really contribute. But then I started having conversations with him and somebody else called Leke, right? Leke Adesuyi, and maybe two, three other people there, right? And that was where I could talk about my journey, what I was struggling with. One of the things that Imole and Leke specifically did for me was that whenever I had job interviews, they would take time out to prepare me for it, right? Which was invaluable. Yes, I actually wanted to get into labor relations, which is what Leke does, because I worked with the union in flour mill. So that was really in my area of interest. And I mean, these guys would take 1 hour, 30 minutes, right, to prepare me, go through different questions with me. I will be taking down notes like this, just get me ready for those interview sessions. And it was just amazing. And even when I didn't get those roles, they'd also be there to like bounce back on to say, okay, Bunmi, what did you do wrong here? Oh, it's just feedback. What do we improve on? So that that really, really helped me. Again, because like I said, I was in so much pain and emotional pain and everything. I couldn't do community the way I would like to, because again, one step at a time, one thing at a time, right? But I did just isolate key people, and I continued to build on my relationship with them, even up till now. I got my permanent residency last week, Bukola knows. And these are...
Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness.
So these are all the people that I informed, people that helped me, and it's all different. Bukola, for example, would provide like a helpful here. She'll say, BBA, that's how it is. It's very difficult, so don't worry, God has a job. Sometimes you just want to hear, you just want to hear those things. Now, the first job, to end this question, the first job that I got was introduced to me by my classmates in my final term in school. Her name is Estefania. She's Venezuelan. I met Estefania in my first term. I met her in October to December. She was in my class from October till December 2022. We lost touch. So I didn't see her again till my final term, which was October to December 2023. Just look at how God works.
Wow.
And I love that so much. Like, she's very brilliant. She's like, I like brilliant people like this Bukola here now. So I always make sure I make friends with brilliant people. If somebody is my friend, just know the person is brilliant. But somehow I lost touch with her. But she came again 1 year later. So the two of us, we joined. So we're always doing our assignments together. I joined her group. Like, she's a first class mind, brilliant girl. So we graduated now, and then someone now reached out to her on LinkedIn to say he was looking for a HR data analyst in a company, a recruiter. So she reached out to me. I was even in the States then. I was visiting my parents. My mom had just had a back surgery. So I was like, maybe somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn or that. But me, I just got a promotion on my role. Are you interested in this HR data analyst role? I was like, are you interested? I don't have any. Why were you asking? Stefania linked me up with the guy. So that's the first thing. So I got the president of HR. Her name is Nancy Ho. She told me as she was interviewing me, she just kept, I could just see this interest in her face. After the whole thing, Bunmi, I don't have to ask you too many questions, okay? I have seen your profile. I have seen what you've done back home. And I know that you have mentored people in Dress for Success as well. She said one of the biggest confusions that she has about the Canadian landscape is this obsession with Canadian experience. Now, why should someone like me in the first place, who has all experience from back home, why should you even struggle for a job at all? That she doesn't get it. That she's currently mentoring someone that has 18 years engineering experience from her home country in Syria or somewhere, I can't remember. And the person is struggling to get a job that she just can't get it. That it's so unfair. So Bunmi, you don't have to talk so much. Don't worry, we'll be in touch with you. You'll resume in 2 weeks. So that's another, yes, and that's another community. So that's the way community helps me. I have explained it in various ways. I did go seeking out for community, because even though I knew I didn't have the strength to do community the way that I was used to, I know the importance of people. I know the importance of not walking your journey alone. But authenticity and doing things naturally is also very important to me. So I don't force things. So that's why it took me time to build my relationships, my one-on-ones with people that are isolated from the community. So that was the way community helped me. Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
Brilliant.
Wow, that's really amazing. Like, that's really amazing. And I like how so eventually, even the first job you got here in Canada, like you mentioned that the vice president was a mentor in Dress for Success, and probably you didn't know at the time, maybe, but somehow you just got to know them. So seeing how that even played out, so I think that's just amazing.
It is.
That's just amazing. Okay, so we're almost approaching the end of the segment of the episode, but just a few things. Like, so while you've spoken about how you found your footing, how community has helped you, and all of that. So, and now we're moving to the ascending part, which is like your ascent part. You just mentioned, and again, congrats again on your PR. That's already huge.
Huge. Wow.
Huge. So, talking about that, so what does striving or what does thriving? I don't know which of the whichever works. What's thriving, striving?
No.
Anyway, what does thriving look like for you now? Like, what is it like now in this season of your life?
Mm.
I like the word season. I just love that word, Bukola and Dickens. Like this question is it's heavy and it's packed. And I hope that the way I answer this question, I hope that it helps anyone that listens to it. See, I was born a first child daughter. You guys already know what that means. I've told you what my mom when I got that job. So I was just built to just be winning and just be killing it and that was really my whole life back home. It was goals upon goals. It was dreams upon dreams. It was always one mountain that I was climbing. It was always one leadership role that I was looking to ascend. And those are good. Ambition is great. But I feel like it cost me something when I was back home. I didn't even know what it cost me until I moved here. So moving here and the recalibration, I'm not the same person that left Nigeria. And what has changed me really is now that the things that are important to me now, I have highlighted them and I have put them at the forefront. Before, the first thing will be career. Career initiative. What is it? It's always been such a big part of me, and it gave me so much identity. And I'm not saying our careers are not important. I did tell you that I found peace. I started feeling settled when I got my first job. But there are some things that could suffer when you build. I think that for the career that I built back home, the quality time with my children did suffer. And even though I had a solid support system, my mother-in-law lives with me, and I have a nanny. She's still in my house back in Nigeria now. She's been with us since 2012, right? Auntie Rose.
Wow.
So she helped
in Lagos.
Yes, in Lagos. And she's
that's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
She lives in Abiki. So so I had her and I had my mother-in-law. And I think but there's just a place that you can't there's just a place that cannot be there's just a space that cannot be occupied. The space for a mother cannot be occupied by anybody else. That's what I want to say. The space for a mother cannot be occupied by anybody else. So there are a couple of issues. So anyway, so moving here, and the way the workspace is here, back home, hey, you will walk till my bosses has called me at 3 a.m. before in Nigeria. 3 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
I have had a meeting before back home that we slept over, right? The meeting
What?
4 p.m. Oh yes. The meeting started at 4 p.m. and it was a management meeting, and we slept. It was the next day that we left. So don't try and down the difference. Just pretend I didn't say it. So for thriving really right now is just being at peace. It's working at I feel like God, and I can talk about God. I talk about God everywhere I go, but I feel like I feel like God slowed me down intentionally. And the life that I'm living here in Canada is something that I didn't even know existed because I was born in Lagos. I was brought up in Lagos. I have always been about that go.
Yeah.
Always in a hurry, where you're rushing things, where everything is a rush. And then somehow it's like, okay, come and slow down. I don't know why. I don't understand why, but I definitely am enjoying the time that I'm having with my girls. I've gotten to know them more. Like my first daughter that is going to university now, I didn't know her as when we were back as much as I know her now. Now we are like this. Like we're like this.
Wow.
And that wasn't the case when I was back home.
Wow.
So that's why I said I like the word season.
Right.
That's just the season I find myself in now. I didn't think that this was what was going to happen when I was moving to Canada. When I was moving to now. We are coming for dollars. We are coming for lots of hedge against the devaluation of the Naira.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And God clearly states, hey, you didn't come here for dollars, that you'd always have money thing, you would always fine. We came here for something else. And I don't understand it in entirety, but I definitely am living and I'm working at a slower pace now. Getting this job in where I work now with the First Nations, it's been a blessing, and it was so obvious that God kept that job for me because they waited for me for about 4 months. They gave me all the documentation I needed to apply for my provincial nomination. Peace here, they love their schools. The kids there are friendly, because it's a small town, so they are not as the kids in the bigger town. So they're really laid back. They have farms, they have staples. Life.
Hallmark movie life.
Yeah,
I get it.
Tree, you just have lakes, and it's just a different way. And I'm like, and this is how I would summarize it. It's like now I'm living the life that I didn't even know that I needed.
Wow.
Yes. So if you come to tell me that I would have loved to live this kind of life when I was back home and just killing it, I would have said, of course not. Why would I live in Ekiti State? For what? But now I'm here and I absolutely love it. I love it. Yes, we came here for PR, because living in a small town gives you some more points in the provincial nomination. But then we found something bigger. And I suspected then that God had something bigger he was doing, that it wasn't just a PR thing. And that's exactly what has happened. It's been beyond just the PR. It's been me finding peace. It's been me working on my purpose. Me finding more time, working at my pace, and just being happy with who I am right now. So that's the answer to that question.
I'm just soaking it in,
my mind is blown. I didn't want you to stop, but I know that we're on the clock. But Bunmi, thank you so much. There's something you said that I need to just highlight. You said you still don't understand it in its entirety. And I think that's something our viewers should hold on to. A lot of times, we don't enjoy the present because we're worried about what the future would look like. And Bunmi has just said she doesn't have the full picture. But guess what? I'm enjoying where I am right now. I'm loving the peace. So guys, and I guess this is a Nigerian thing as well, which that ambition, what's next, and we're not fully enjoying where we currently are, forgetting that our current or our present state is a prayer answered, right? I think another thing you said which really blew my mind is something we've talked about countless times on the podcast, which is in life, you're juggling different balls. They're the glass balls, and then they're the plastic balls. Whether we realize it or not, our career is the plastic ball. Bunmi was here back home, or here. I'm not sure the camera caught that. So here, back home, in terms of her career. But like you said, you didn't really know your first daughter in terms of like really knowing her, and that's a glass ball, right? So it's okay for a plastic ball to fall off. It never breaks. It will bounce back. Bunmi started slow, but now she's in a job. She's been in that job for over a year. She's thriving. She's bounced back career-wise. But thankfully, the glass ball you were juggling didn't shatter. You didn't get to a point where your children grew, left the house, and then you realize, I don't even know my daughters. I don't know her personality, So thank you so much for sharing. I guess just to wrap it up, the one question we have would be looking back, not that we want to look back, but what would you say your proudest moment has been, just being in Canada and all the ups and downs you've gone through?
It's my daughter. This same my daughter that I didn't know much of. So I look at her and you wonder how you can be inspired by an 18-year-old. So she attended 4 different secondary schools, right? 2 back home. Changed her secondary school from the one she was in back home because there were some issues with the first one. So we moved her to a Christian school back home. Then we moved to Canada. So when we moved to Canada, she attended a 3rd school. And then when we moved to where we live now, that's... And I don't know if you know that it's not easy to be a teenager, right? Like being a teenager alone is is hard enough. But having to transition 4 different schools, and still come out tops. My daughter made like a 95% grade point, right? She got various, she applied to 5 universities, including U of T. She got into all 5. She got scholarships.
Oh, wow.
5. She graduated as the valedictorian of her class here in Port Alberni, a school that she's only been for 9 months. She almost didn't apply for that valedictorian role because she felt like, oh, these guys don't know me. I just joined, came here 9 months ago. And they don't know me. I would not. They won't select me because it was a merit thing. They were going to vote for you. So she almost didn't apply for it, but I encouraged her, and our vice principal also encouraged her, and she did. She did get voted for, so she was the valedictorian of her class. She's starting at the University of British Columbia in about 4 weeks. She wants to be a doctor. I don't know why. It takes you 8 years. It takes you 8 years to be a doctor, but okay, if that's what you want to do, but if you can't do it, fine. Just go to school and finish. That's my own. So I think that's really a very, very proud moment for me, because of course moving here wasn't just all about me. It was also about my children. I have 3 girls, and it was only the 3rd child that I had in the States, and it was always there that okay, so do about the first 2 ones. So just seeing them settle down and not giving their dad and I issues is very good. There are some certain demons in Canada that really sometimes targets our children, and that's a different story. But seeing them involved and just be the best where they are, and also supporting even back home, with their house and all of that, just not losing anything, Canada has been really good. In fact, I my mind is at a better place. I'm at peace. I have become more open to dealing with my emotions, which was not something I used to do back home. I just used to close my emotions in a lid, cover it, and not attend to it. Now I'm more self-aware. I listen to my thoughts now. I've grown. Seeing my children grow as well has really been a very proud moment, for us. And things are just working out for us, both on the Canadian front and back home in Nigeria with my husband. I just can't thank God enough. It's obvious that God is with us. So yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is so good. And I guess it is also like when you walk in alignment with God, the lines just fall in pleasant places. And I guess the prayer we have is that your children will always make you proud. You will none of them will fall by the wayside. The glory you've seen will get brighter and brighter in their lives. But yeah, thank you so much, Bunmi, for sharing that important piece with us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh wow! I wish we didn't have to end. Honestly, it has been so good, honestly. But thank you so much, BA, for just sharing, being vulnerable first of all with us, sharing honestly, and just really not holding back in terms of the ugly side in quotes, and then the messy things in between and all of that. Thank you so much. I know this is really going to help our audience, our viewers, especially people who are probably navigating similar challenges now, or similar seasons that you have navigated, like you said earlier. And to everyone listening, it will get better. This is not going to be forever, that's for sure. It will get better. And I think one other thing I would like to highlight is also the fact that learning from Bunmi's story in terms of don't get stuck in the past. Like, look forward. Yes, you can reflect, you can grieve what you missed and all that, but move forward, look forward. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck looking back, and then you don't even know what's going to happen. What's right there in front of you. I think that's what I'm going to just I would like to leave everyone watching this with that. Just move forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you again so much, Bunmi. We're hoping that as the podcast grows and we start incorporating more topics, we will have you back.
Yes,
I really had a great time. And we'd like to just add, if you don't mind, where people can find you on LinkedIn, Instagram. If you can just share with the viewers.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So on LinkedIn, I'm Bunmi Akano. That's BUNMI AKANO. So that's me on LinkedIn, and it's the same thing on Instagram as well.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it as well on the screen so people can also just get like quickly get a snapshot of it. So we'll put it on the screen as well.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Me.
Take care. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.